So now in today's video we're looking at these, and these are Twinkly Generation 2 Festoon Lights. Now these are the multicolour version, and as it says on the box, they're app controlled RGB bulbs and they're designed to go outside. So this is what we're going to have in our garden, probably going across the fence. And I'm very excited about these. Now I've done a video on some twinkly strings, I think. I'll put the link to it up in the corner, and that has been a weirdly successful video. So hopefully if you like the twinkly ecosystem, then you'll love these festoon bulbs. I mean, just from the packet, they look awesome, and I'm very excited to see them in person. So probably how I'll do this video is I'll do a quick unboxing here and see what we've got, because I don't really know what's in the box, and then maybe we'll cut back into a few days later where we've installed them on the fence and they're up and in action. But yeah, we'll have a little look in the box, see what's what. It's a very big, heavy box. Okay, oh dear, I think I'm going to hit the camera. Let's move it back a bit. Okay, so they operate via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. They have got 40 G45 LED bulbs. It's a 20-meter string with 40 bulbs on it. There's 50 centimeters between each bulb. IP44 rated, so that should be okay. So they operate from -15 to +40, so that's absolutely fine for this country. And yeah, it gives you a sort of little picture of how they work as well in the app. So if you've not seen twinkly bulbs before, basically they are fully app controlled. Once they're plugged in, you sort of scan them with the app. The app sort of takes a video and works out where the bulbs are all located, and therefore can make special effects across all the lamps. So you can actually have like designs and patterns, especially if you've got some of the curtain style ones. So they are very, very cool. I really like Twinkly, but they aren't cheap. I think this retails between like 150 to 200 pounds. Now you can get just white versions and also a 10-meter string, which will be cheaper, but yeah, they're not a cheap thing to play with. It's a bit like Hue. They're a very expensive ecosystem, but they are very smart, and in my opinion, worth the money. Okay, so we've got the manual, got some stickers, that's nice, and a postcard, general info there. So what do we have? All the things. Okay, so we've got a UK power adapter. I mean, I assume this might have to plug in indoors or in some kind of enclosure. We'll have to see, but it is actually quite small. So if you do have one of those covered sockets, it might work okay. It's not like a massive transformer. Then what do we have here? Aha. So I assume this end goes into the power adapter. There we go. Screw that in. Okay, so along the route we've got this, which I think is the receiver for the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. Yes, that is the Twinkly box. And then how does it terminate? Okay, so we've got two cables. Ah, okay. So I wonder if we've got like two lots of 10 meters. I think we have, okay. So there we go. So it is split into two. So you need to have your plug sort of in the middle, I guess. That's interesting. Okay, so do these, oh yes. Oh right, okay, so the covers do come off. So they're not actually bulbs in the traditional sense. Okay. Okay, so this is keyed. So in theory, that set should be good to go. Now I'm not going to unravel them now because it will just be a pain in the butt. Yeah, so it seems that the power supply has to be directly in the middle of the two lots of strings, which isn't great. I'm not entirely sure how much cable is on there. We'll measure that when we actually set them up. Okay, so that set is there, and this set is here. I've just noticed that they've all got little hook things on top of them. That's handy. We can hang them nicely if need be. So there we go. We have got 40 bulbs there ready to go. So I'm going to plug this in, and maybe we'll turn down the studio lights as well. So yeah, I'll be back in a sec. Well, there we go. I'm being lit by Twinklies. So I guess it's probably a good time to try out the app. Okay, so you can see my phone screen now. So let's go into the Twinkly app. So start using app. Okay. Right, let's see if we can find some devices. Hopefully, should be fairly easy. Okay, so we've got generation 2. Make sure your Twinkly device is close to the mobile phone. Press and hold until the status LED is greenish blue. Okay, there we go. Let's try again. I hadn't done that. Hooray! Okay, so we're going to use the home/office Wi-Fi. Okay, so let me type in the password. Oh, hello, little flicker there. Oh, it's updating the firmware now. The lights have all gone out. So their default setting seems to be a sort of very patriotic red, white and blue. So I'll let it do its firmware update. Hopefully that won't take too long. So if you're interested in how the strings terminate, that is the end of one of the strings. So it's got like a little hooky thing at the end. Oh, hello. There we go. So we're going to map the lights now. This is where we scan the lights. Now, obviously this sort of setup of them all bundled isn't ideal, but let's map the lights. There we go. We'll just do easy mapping for now. Yep, okay. So it needs access to my camera. Turn it round and then start mapping. So it's making the lights all flash. There we go. And now it's identified on the app where all the lights are. Let's not worry about that now. So now we can do some effects. So let's try a rainbow. I love it. So there you go. You can press apply to store the effect in Twinkly's memory to run it indefinitely. Now the advanced mapping basically takes sort of pictures, I guess, from all different angles. So it gives a lot more refined mapping, I guess, but this is just fine for the purpose of this demo. Okay, let's go back to the gallery and see what other ones we can have. Should we have candy cane? Candy cane. Carnival. That's so cool. What other ones do we have? Unicorn sun. Now it's hard to sort of see, but it is kind of spinning around and swirling. It's very smart. We can just have a cool sky. And yeah, you can edit the effects as well. So you can change the colours. So we've got an orange in a sort of white haze. That's really cool. Okay, let's go back. What about a sparkle? How glamorous. See how diagonal works? Yeah, that sort of works. I mean, some of these effects are better suited for having a sort of a sheet of them almost. But you know, you get the idea. It is a very smart system, and the way that it's mapped on my phone and sort of knows where all the lights are, it is very, very clever. Okay, so we can just set it to sort of default colours. You know, you don't necessarily need to have the fancy effects. You can just have bog standard colours, which Vicky doesn't like coloured lights. which is pretty pretty annoying for her considering the amount of hue stuff I've got. And see here also in the app you can set an on and off time, so if you just want them to set up in the garden and just be on at a certain time then go off, you can do that. And also you can alter the brightness as well. So, you know, if you just want an ambiance. It's interesting, like, they're flickering. It's a weird sort of flicker. See if I can... I don't think it captures it on the camera, but it's almost like a sort of fire. Very interesting. Yeah, you can't quite see it on the camera, but there is a slight flicker to it at a low brightness. Yeah, less so at the full brightness. Now, these aren't like stupidly bright lights. They're sort of designed for ambiance. So, you know, this is them at their fullest at the moment. And it's not particularly bright. You don't want massive bright lights in your garden. You want something that's sort of a bit more subtle. So this ticks those boxes. Now basically it doesn't hold all of the effects in the memory. So basically if you like an effect, so I quite like the rainbow effect, you can apply it and that then saves it onto the memory of the device. So if we go back to our sort of settings for this lamp, there you go. So we can either do colours or effects, and also you can add your own colours as well. And what's interesting is you can actually put in hex colours. So I could put in Kip Hakes yellow, or Kip Hakes orange. Pretty cool. So there we go. We've had a quick look at these out of the box. And we've had a quick look at the app. Now I guess the best thing for us to do now is get them outside and set up and see how they look in the garden. So let's go and do that. Well, as you can see, they're all set up in the garden now and look amazing. And yeah, I'm just lit by them all around me and it looks incredible. So at the moment I've just got them on a rainbow setting. I'm just going to go in the Twinkly app and change things. So this next one is called Raster. Okay. Shall we have a bit of unicorn sun? I like unicorn sun, that's cool. And a bit of night sky seems fitting. That's a bit darker. And of course you can just make them any colour you like. So cool. As I said earlier on in the video, they're not massively bright, but they are bright enough to light up outside. Now it was relatively easy to hang them up. I just hung them with some hooks along the fence and it works really well. Now the only problem is, as I've also mentioned in the video, is the fact that the plug has to be in the center of the lights. So at the moment we're just running one string of lights, and it would be nice to run two, but our plug is in the office, and so if we sort of went off that one, the other set of lights would have to run behind the office. It would be really good if you could run like the whole 20 meters just from one end rather than it being split in the middle like a Y shape. So I don't think there's any way around that apart from hacking the cable, but because they've got proprietary connectors, I don't really want to do that. So I imagine what we will do is set up the remaining lights to go around the rest of the garden, but what we've got so far is good and I'm really pleased with it, and it just looks amazing. Now Twinkly isn't cheap, but it's good. It looks great. The app works really well, and you can also integrate it with Home Assistant. It's not something I've done yet, but I'm definitely going to consider it. I definitely recommend these twinkly lights to add a little extra into your garden. So yeah, there we go. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.